Okay, so what we were just talking about is how I see this a lot in this movement in the kingdom of God with people who are prophetic. Okay, this is a very common occurrence with prophetic people. Now, prophetic words, prophetic signs, prophetic coincidences are all good. But if you notice, just like we're traveling down this highway, here's what the prophetic is designed to do. Now, even as we're on the highway and we're in a lane, this lane is taking us somewhere. And so when we're staying, as we're in this lane, we're focused on movement in a direction because there is a place that we're headed. Now, when God gives you a snapshot or a prophetic word about where you're going, His goal is to give you a picture of where you need to be. Now, in this particular instance, we're going to the city of Atlanta. So that is our goal. Or if you're talking about a prophetic word that you've been given about where God is taking you, then your objective is to get there from where you are to that word. So let's say if that prophetic word was about business acceleration, okay? So now I am moving towards business acceleration. And just like in this instance, I'm in the car, I'm moving towards Atlanta. Now, here's what happens to a lot of people when they've gotten a prophetic word and then they start seeing all of these prophetic signs and confirmations, which are good. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that they're not good. But what happens to a lot of people, just like I'm seeing the sign over there, it says Georgia State Line. What happens to people with prophetic signs is they'll stop, they'll get out the car, and they'll go look at the Welcome to Georgia sign and talk about how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is and how great God is and all God is doing. And they allow the prophetic sign to take them off course so that they miss opportunities to do so now that we're just like we're in this car headed to Atlanta, the prophetic sign is there for you to glance at it, see it, check it, know what you're supposed to be doing, but you got to keep moving. You cannot stop and look at every prophetic sign and every, the old girl didn't and so here you are, all three of y'all stopped, got out the car, standing on the side of the road talking about how great the Georgia sign is. And you're going to miss your appointment in Atlanta for the meeting that God is trying to get you to. So, what do we do instead? When you receive a prophetic sign or a prophetic indicator, when God has given you direction, that's like, for example, I'll use myself. When God gave me a prophetic word a number of years ago about business acceleration. Now, this was 2 years ago. So what I had to do was I had to start taking out my materials to start refreshing myself a lot of business. I had to kind of take myself back to business school, stuff that I learned years ago. I had to go in and refresh, but then I had to also spend time in the presence of God getting insight about what God is doing spiritually. But so that's the spirit realm. But then in the natural realm, in the mental or the soulish realm, I had to do my homework. I had to go in and study material. I had to study. Now, I had to study in what realm? In my particular realm of authority, or my mountain, which is a business mountain primarily, my business mountain authority, I had to go back. Now, what was my vehicle in the business realm authority? My vehicle is the business of customer service. My business is the vehicle of teaching and training and coaching and that kind of thing. So I had to get back in my lane. I had to do my homework. So I had the spiritual component where God is giving me instructions and I'm in prayer. The Holy Spirit is giving me revelation and insight. But then I had the natural. I had to actually go online and learn how to set up a YouTube channel. I had to go online and learn I had to learn how to decipher Google Analytics. I had to go and learn how to decipher all of the different components where I had to make sure that I could get out. There's just a whole lot. I had to go in and learn I actually had to go and learn how to do my own website. Not that I plan on maintaining my own website, but there are some things you need to know so that when you turn them over to other people, you will have insight about how things should be done so that you'll be able to manage things more effectively when you're working in partnership with other people. So instead of getting out the car, looking at the prophetic sign, slowing down, you stay in your lane. Now, as we're traveling to the city of Atlanta, we have certain stops and certain things that we have to do. We have to stop and gas up the car. That's like me having to stop, get insight into learning how to do Google Analytics. I got to stop. I got to take that. Now, I'm not going to stop and look at the Georgia sign. I'm going to stay focused because I've got to be in XYZ city to gas up my car at a certain point in time. So this event that we're going to is kind of like a spiritual gas up where we're going to get information, and it's for what? It's to help us get to where God is endeavoring to take us. Now, my final point on this note is, what happens when you stop and get out and read, looking at the sign, instead of using that prophetic sign as a marker on your path, letting you know you're in the right direction, keep moving. When you stop and you allow the prophetic sign to become a distraction, you will miss your divine appointments. Because all of us, everything that we are doing in the kingdom of God, we are a body. And there are certain functions that have to happen as you move through the body, doing your assignment, doing your things. And if you are late, there are certain people who you are intended to connect with, you're intended to bond with, you're intended to get information from, you're intended to help or support, whatever purpose. God is allowing those individuals to come into your space. If you're late, you miss your window and they miss their appointment. So you have to stay on task. You have to stay on target. And we have to move towards our assignments with intentionality. So you don't let a prophetic sign distract you from the path that you're supposed to be following. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Thank you, guys.